Hi. Yeah, maybe we could start now. Hello, first of all. My name is Mantas. I'm working as an IT architect for company Adform. Today, maybe you heard my topic is metrics-driven development, and I will talk about metrics and development. Yeah, of course, but I will talk about how we started using metrics, how we start using monitoring in our company, how we attracted developers and gain support from the management doing metrics and monitoring, how we solved real problems with one big project in our company using metrics, and what do we have now regarding this field. Okay, so first of all, okay, I need it's okay. First of all, a couple of words about company I work for, Adform. You maybe heard that name already. So we are actually ad serving company. We serving ads. We actually serving banners. We doing business all across the Europe. Our management and headquarters are located in Copenhagen, Denmark. We do have more than 150 employees now. We have about more than 300 physical servers, and we keep those in 2 separate data centers in Copenhagen, Denmark too. Our operation and development teams are located in Vilnius. Okay, Adform and Agile. We started using Agile practices, Scrum in particular, a few years ago, and during those years we saw how our company grew, how our company benefited from all those practices. And one day we were at the conference in the States. We were doing like a continuous integration, all that kind of stuff, and we were in conference in the States and heard about such thing called continuous delivery. Maybe you already know what is continuous delivery. Who from you know? Yeah, so it's successful, continuous and repeatable delivery of code to production. Yeah, and we heard examples about big companies like Flickr, Facebook, WordPress. They are doing delivery they shipping code to production every day or even every hour. I remember I saw numbers like hundreds releases per week or per day even. So we were really excited. We brought the news back home. We said for our management, you know, there's such kind of continuous delivery and cool companies do that, and we are a young company, we want to be cool company, so maybe we want to solve some our problems using continuous delivery. We didn't show that slide for our management, which is from Patrick's presentation, where he shows that continuous deployment to production environments, it's insane. What we showed actually for our management was like something like this. Is maybe you want to do some releases instead of few weeks, maybe in few minutes, to change manual testing to automatic testing and all of that. And one big part of continuous delivery is monitoring, and my talk is not about continuous delivery itself. You can hear that from Gediminas later on this day. He will present about continuous delivery and all, etc. My talk is about monitoring, and to do monitoring, to enable us to do monitoring and to do continuous delivery, we need a tool. Yeah, so actually we had one tool at that time. Tool was called Perform. And if you just thought that it's something related to performance monitor, so it's not. It was something like a log aggregator, where you could find a lot of logs from all the servers in one place, and you can see the red lines and the black lines here, and maybe you can guess which are more critical ones. Red ones, yeah. Actually, there were no difference. There were no difference, red or black, it doesn't matter. It was just like black, red lines, and everything was dependent from that guy. I was one of those guys who were looking, and were to that log, we needed to decide it's critical error or not critical. So it doesn't take genius to understand that with such kind of tool we won't make continuous delivery where everything is automated and flying. Yeah, so we needed some kind of tool. So we start looking. And as we are using Windows operating system a lot in our system, yeah, so we looked at Microsoft and said, okay, what is Microsoft proposal how to do monitoring and metrics? And of course, proposal for Microsoft is System Center Operation Manager. So we evaluated it for a couple of months, I think. And Operation Manager is really great if you want to do standard things. But if you just going outside of the box or do something really not standard, it's pretty much getting a lot complicated. And we saw, okay, if it's already in 2 months, it's already complicated, so maybe we need to look for something else. And we looked to open source projects like Nagios, Xenos, Zabbix, Splunk, and all, maybe more. And we chose one. It's called Zabbix. Zabbix is open source tool written by a Latvian company called Zabbix. And basically, when we were selling this tool for our management, we pointed 3 things: templates, keys, and user parameters. I will briefly describe all of those. Templates is like buckets where can you describe what to monitor, thresholds, graphs, all that kind of stuff. Screens is name for the Zabbix name for the dashboard itself. It's pretty easy with the Zabbix to create dashboard for management, for operations guys, for developments, difference. And user parameters, which enable Zabbix to monitor pretty much everything. We had requirements like to monitor event log, counters, Linux, Windows servers, a lot of different stuff. And then with Zabbix, we were able to do that all. So we chose Zabbix. And when we said, okay, we have templates with Zabbix, who makes metrics, yeah? Because the monitoring in our company, I think like in most companies, are done by operation team, yeah? But operation team is like pretty much, they do know a lot of about servers, about applications, but they're pretty limited about that. And we are not earning the money because our servers running smoothly or because we have like a couple of 10 gigabits connection to the internet. We are earning money because our applications does what they do, yeah? So because our customers pays for that and for our applications for that kind of stuff. So we thought, okay, we can leave the guys from operations knows infrastructure, but engineers write on applications, and they should know how to monitor applications, yeah? We thought that first of all, yeah. So let's them to say us, operations guys like me, how to monitor applications. Let's give them tools and enable them to describe operation guys how to monitor applications, because applications, it's really the thing which is matter for us. So we talked with operations, we talked with the development. Development agreed they can do that, and we made like game plan. It was like the guys from development creating templates, giving them to operation guys. They looking at those templates, decide it's good, not good, approving or not approving them, and putting to production server, to our production monitoring server, like in here, yeah. So we were really excited. We thought it's okay. That's super great idea. It will work, and we will do great stuff. Yeah, but it failed. It failed for multiple reasons. It failed because developers said, okay, we don't want to go to operations every time we want to change something simple, yeah? We don't do that. We don't want to do that. And operation guy said, what developers want to do with monitoring and metrics is even not monitoring and metrics, it's debugging. And we don't want to let them do debugging in production. So, no, it's not good. So everything stopped. So we said, okay, we have that idea and we believed in that, so we pushed more. We sat down and thought, okay, if we have 2 different approaches, yeah, let's split those. Let's split those groups to different servers. And we put 2 Zabbix servers instead of 1. Both have monitoring production environment, but to one, development guys has all the rights, actually they can do pretty much in that server. We made the experience as smooth as possible to them. They just go to the web console. They are logged in automatically using Windows logins, integrated logins. They get a group of servers they really care about. They don't see every picture, but they don't need that. They really care about some group of servers, so they get those. And from that moment, they can do pretty much everything in that server. They can delete even that server from the monitoring if they want. But we said, you are responsible guys, you are really clever guys, and we believe you don't do any bad things. If you want to test something, we do have development environment you can test there, but it's not the must. You can do straightly in that server. So we started, and after a month and two, we saw, okay, we have first adopters. We were really happy seeing teams joining monitoring and metric servers. Yeah? Developers themselves with implementing monitoring for their applications. Actually, they didn't know what to monitor at that time, and they monitored pretty much everything, and very frequently. At the time, we had like a virtual server, and it was like screwed. We moved to a pretty powerful physical server with the monitoring at the time. So, but we were really happy because we saw, okay, it's getting traction, it's happening. Developers are doing metrics and monitoring, so it's really great for us. And it didn't last that long, this happiness of. We had a project called real-time bidding. A bit about what is real-time bidding, yeah? Just imagine you are going to some unknown site like Delphi-LT, yeah? And Delphi-LT sends information about you from your cookie, who you are and all that, to the these companies called ad exchanges. They send information about you. Maybe they know already that you like running, and these ad exchanges shout that information to companies like us. They say, okay, we have Delphi-LT, we have user, and maybe he or she likes running. How much you are willing to pay if you are able to show the banner for that particular user in that particular place, yeah? So they asking us like this question. They sending data to us about that user. We adding more data about that user if we do have. We have really clever math behind this, and we taking decision how much we are willing to pay for this user. Yeah. So let's say we are willing to pay $1 or €1. So we are sending a bid to ad exchanges, and they decide who wins. Yeah. Maybe we win, maybe not. So yeah. Where is real time in this case? Yeah. So in real time, it's that all that stuff should happen in less than 100 milliseconds. And considering this, that these ad exchange servers could be located anywhere in Europe, and we are located in Copenhagen, so, and we do need to do some processing on the data, it's pretty strict requirement, yeah, to do that in less than 100 milliseconds. And requirement was to do it 40,000 times per second. So yeah, but we saw, okay, we are doing the projects like that. We can deal with it. We had developers, operations. We wrote application. We bought hardware. We put that project in production, and it failed. It failed, and then that we couldn't. We could keep only 5,000 queries per second, and even in those 20% of those failed because we didn't manage to do that in less than 100 milliseconds. So, okay, we turned then to developers because we already knew they are doing monitoring, yeah. So they know how to do that. They know where is bottleneck. They will say yes, and we will solve problem. It's easy, yeah. But we were like swimming or like drowning in the data, because we had lots of data, and they say we don't know where's the problem. There's no like one smoking chimney where it's like CPU problem, IOPS problem, or memory problem. It's not clear. We can't say where's the problem. So what we should do? And we said, okay, it's pretty much embarrassing because we're already doing monitoring and we are really happy about that. And how we can't say that where's the problem? So okay, so what we did. Temporary team was gathered, and we picked really important metrics. For this example, we picked queries per second because it was like requirement 40,000, and we picked SLA. And when I'm referring to SLA, it's like service level agreement. But when I'm referring to SLA, we counted it in such way what is the percent of queries which failing. So at that time, like it was like 20, 25, 30 maybe percents who were failing. So when I'm referring to SLA, I'm referring to queries, that percent of queries which are failing. This is real example how the goals were set to that temporary team. We were working in 2 weeks iterations, and the goal was set like, looking at the metrics, looking at the monitoring, you say, okay, just keep the green line, which was SLA, less than 1% with keeping holding 25,000 queries per second. The green line is SLA, and all the rest lines here, it's SLA from, okay, green line is SLA from our internal SLA, how we look, how we see SLA, and all the rest lines is like SLA from Google side in this example. Our SLA is worse because we do know more things than Google know about us, yeah, so we can tell a bit more. So we were worked in iterations, and what we did then, we had lots of data, so we organized the data, we correlated data, and added additional counters, and I will dig down to these things. We organized the data in the way that we created separate dashboards for infrastructure metrics, which is like CPU, memory, all the physical things. Yeah, we down to the TCP queues, application metrics, latencies, and business metrics. We created different dashboards, all those kind of metrics. We correlated data in a couple of ways. We correlated data that we put lots of graphs one below each other, and we could clearly see the reason and why it's starting to why we are starting to fail. For example, when we did like stress testing in here, we could dig down and see how our database layer. We are using Cassandra NoSQL database for our database in this project. So how our database layer is reacting, and we see how we have problems in our database layer, how we have like problems in serving. So actually it works both ways, from the top to down and from the down to top. We could correlate the things, what's happening with our system. Another way we correlated the data, it's like we call that time-shifted data. It's actually all these graphs shows how many bits per second we are sending to the ad exchanges. Yeah, but green line, for example, shows how many bits per second we are sending now. Red line shows how many bits per second we actually sent it 24 hours ago, and blue line shows how many bits per second we sent it 1 week ago. And what it gives like, if we can see that today, like green line goes very high or very low, actually we could identify that there's a problem somewhere. Even that could be that our client did some misconfiguration, for example, and we starting sending lots of bits per second. So actually our developers could say, okay, something happens. They digging down to the data and says, someone called that customer because he did misconfiguration in that field, and actually we are saving even money for our customers doing with such kind of metrics. add additional counters, and we added a lot of additional counters in the application itself and in different layers of the application itself. But one thing I want to show you, it's like we had a problem that we had, like, for example, Google Ad Exchange. Yeah? Google Ad Exchange is located in Amsterdam, Holland. And we saw that in some cases, Google sends us latency data. And in some cases, we can relate on the data because, I don't know if you know, but Google fails sometimes too. So we saw, okay, we need some additional data from the Amsterdam, how our application looks like from the Amsterdam. We are using Keynote, Gomez, all these kind of external monitoring tools, pretty big ones. But it's pretty expensive to do very frequent requests, and we wanted to do that very frequently. So developers wrote an application. We put it in the Windows Azure, which is located in Amsterdam too. We called that application from our monitoring and metric server itself. And the application called back to our servers, get latency data and performance data of our application from the Amsterdam perspective, and send it back to our servers. So we could clearly see when the problem happens somewhere between Amsterdam and Copenhagen, or the problem happens in the Google itself. So it helped us solve a couple of problems. So we were working during those iterations, working, and yeah, in a couple of months what we achieved. And what we achieved, it was pretty impressive. Now we can handle more than 70,000 queries per second while keeping our SLA less than 0.5%. Yeah, and the main thing, because it's no-brainer, yeah, you can add a lot of servers and you can achieve that. But what we had done, we achieved those results on exactly the same hardware we initially had. We didn't buy any super powerful CPU servers. We didn't buy some storage arrays or something. We were looking at the bottlenecks, and we were solving bottleneck after bottleneck after bottleneck in a couple of months, and achieved those results on the same hardware. It was pretty much amazing, and all our management, product owners were really happy. From now on, we can't stop celebrating that achievement, so we're not working, we're celebrating this. What we have now, after this, what we have now? As we're working using Scrum, our Scrum teams, they own decide what needs to be monitored, and they implement themselves. Nobody says them nothing. They're not like giving, I need to monitor my application and let's operation guys configure something. They do configuration with themselves. And actually what I want to say, it's really important that the metrics and performance metrics should be assigned to the guy or team leader or product manager who has means to change something. Yeah, if it would be assigned to me, I can do anything. Yeah, I can see that something is wrong. I will tell team, yeah, you look, something is wrong, but they say, yeah, okay, we don't care. Yeah, so these performance metrics should be assigned to the performance owner, the guy, or that even the whole team who has means to change something. Yeah. Okay. What we monitor, besides really standard things, we monitor servers, applications, network devices, and latency. We actually monitor actual money, and I will show you a graph about that. We actually monitor SLAs. We monitor our cloud solution, how much money we are spending for our cloud solution, how many servers we are running on our cloud solution, and we are monitoring team performance. We are monitoring how many releases per day, per week, per month they are doing. Lots of different things actually. Money, yeah. Actually, we are monitoring money for this kind of project real-time bidding, and we are monitoring money in minute-by-minute cases. And what is important, this graph is not for management, it's not for product owners, it's for developers themselves. They are attracted to monitoring, they are attracted to business side of the project, and they do understand why they're doing what they are doing, why they coding code. They understand all the business logic behind their code. That's, for me, I think it's really important, and it could give really great results if developers understand that why they're doing what they are doing. Yeah. So actually, they can see that if they change something in the logic or somewhere, so they can see how it directs to our money burn straightly, yeah. So it's on the desktop, on the screen. They can see that every time. Yeah. Okay. So team performance. As I said, we actually monitoring team performance in different ways, but we're trying to make it fun, to make it simple, and make it jokes from that. And let's say what we have one metric, how many regular deployments in the row, successful regular deployments in the row we do. And we said, okay, if we achieve 30% in the row, 30 deployments in a row, we all get pizza. It's not like that one team gets pizza, it's whole office gets pizza, yeah. So it's not maybe fair for developers, but yeah. But we are like the team. We want to achieve this goal. We want to provide tools that they could achieve those goals. I must say we never reached that goal actually now, but we are trying. We are moving forward, and I see how a number of releases per week, per day is increasing, and eventually we will reach that. I believe that it would not far away. Yeah. So what our developers are saying about this, and we had this maintenance period in our metric server when we upgraded version, and then the guy from development came to me and said, now we are blind without metrics. And he said one more thing, like half a year ago we didn't see anything about our applications, and we felt comfortable. Yeah, it was like working. No one was complaining about nothing. It was working. It's faster or slower, I don't know, but we felt comfortable. And now while we have downtime, we don't feel comfortable. We don't know what's actually happening at that moment of time, and we don't feel comfortable. And what actually what this shows, it's like change in mindset. The developers start to care about metrics. They start to care about the product. It's not like I don't care how it's working. Yeah, they care. Do they make it faster? Do they make it slower during the time? So it's actually changing the mindset, and I think it's really great. Yeah, and one more thing. It's now when we have downtime in metric server. Lots of people, they know that I like looked at those server after that server. I get like 15 emails straight away about why it's down. It's like now it's like seems like production is down, something like that, because it's really crazy now. Another guy, Ramonas, just Skyped me, and I left the date and time for purpose, because it was like Sunday, almost midnight, and he said, just look what I did. Yeah, so, and what he did actually, Zabbix, the tool we are using, isn't providing, it's not perfect, and it isn't providing some functionality our developers want, because developers are creative people and they want lots of things tools can't provide. Yeah, so he explained to me what he wants. I couldn't help him. He said, okay, I provided access to all the things he needed, and he did the thing. And what he did actually, it was like putting Google graphs on top of the Zabbix data. So he actually wanted this fancy graph who shows like OLAP database sizes or cube sizes, and he wants this kind of graph, and he did that himself. Yeah. So when you give access to developers and give them tools and show maybe a bit how they can do that, they really do great things. And we don't developers to work on Sunday night. Yeah, so when they see the great opportunity to do something interesting, they do. Yeah, so like all of us. To sum up, why it worked, why we have what we have now. We had like this real-time bidding project actually, and it was like we showed the true value which metrics and monitoring could give to the company, how we can solve the real problems, yeah, and how we can make developers work or life, or it's the same, yeah, for a couple of those. So easier, yeah. So we showed how we can benefit of the metrics. We chose right tools, and I think Zabbix was the right tool at that time. Maybe now we are outgrowing Zabbix when we will use a bit more tools, but at the time it was really a good tool because it was easy to implement, easy to start doing something. Because if you just choose some very fancy tool with lots of opportunities, with lots of functions, and it's really difficult to start, yeah, it couldn't start that sometimes. So Zabbix was really right tool at the moment. No man in the middle. Yeah, of course. We moved operations team a bit aside from the metrics. We said, okay, you developers now can do everything on production servers or on a production environment yourself. Yeah, you don't need permission from anyone, me, management, anyone. You can do straight on production servers, and you can implement something and see results straight away. Yeah, so it was really great way of work. And management support. Of course, in some cases you need management support where they need to provide time for developers because it's still time consuming to do metrics. So management support really helps, and that's I think that there's main reasons why we have what we have with the metrics. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you for listening. Maybe someone has questions to ask.
You were saying that you're monitoring performance, right?
Yeah.
So what other metrics, apart from the ones you mentioned during your presentation, do you monitor?
Yes, as I said, we are monitoring how many releases we are doing, how many bug fixes we have, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, if it's interesting for you, I can show really graph how it looks like after all on my laptop.
Sure, I'll buy after you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's all. So thank you once again.